Hello, my name is Gareth Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of YellowDog. So we've all experienced frustrations with computers. Applications crashing, Windows hanging, the spinning wheel of death just when you need that computer the most. Now imagine trying to use that very same computer to generate all the computer-generated imagery needed for an animated feature film. So a 90-minute film like The Jungle Book had 135,000 frames. Now, each one of those frames needs to be painted by a computer. And in the case of The Jungle Book, each frame took 40 hours of processing. Now, altogether, that's a whopping 225,000 computing days of processing time. Now, if you had 100 computers running 24/7, that's over 6 years of processing. Now, that's a really big problem if Disney's only given you 2 years to create the whole film. Now, it's not just the feature film industry that has problems with these long-running processes causing issues. In financial services, you have financial and risk models. You've got anti-money laundering processes. In aerospace, you have complex simulations and scientific computing. In life sciences, you've got drug discovery, personalized medicine. Now, typically, these sorts of businesses, they mitigate the risk of these processes causing problems by buying more servers, building data centers, extending these processes out to the public cloud. Now, they do that despite the fact of 30% of all servers turned on, plugged in data centers, and then never used. In fact, the average server utilization in a typical enterprise is only between 5 and 15%. And then there's the environmental impact. So in 2017, 7% of all the world's electricity was used on powering data centers. In fact, next year, the worldwide emissions from data centers is forecast to eclipse that of the entire aviation industry. So it's an environmental problem, and it's a business problem. So what are you going to do? So this is where YellowDog comes in. So YellowDog is able to take this overnight processing and turn it into minutes processing, all without you having to spend an extra penny on additional hardware. So our unique technology, and we are the only intelligent predictive scheduling and orchestration platform on the planet, is able to take these workloads and then accelerate them and speed them up by first securely harnessing the underutilized computing power that already exists within your organization. And then if that's not enough, we can securely burst these workloads out to the cloud providers that have already been chosen. YellowDog is intelligent because we have sophisticated business rules that enable you to pick the best source of compute for those workloads, whether it's price, location, latency, availability, computing power. We're predictive because we have some advanced machine learning that's able to forward predict how long these workloads are going to take. YellowDog is more flexible than virtualization, more resilient than high-performance computing clusters. We are less expensive than hyperconvergence, and we are naturally vendor agnostic. So what this means for a bank is when there is regulatory change on the horizon, something like FRTB, which most people think will require something like 8 times the computing power just to meet the regulatory SLAs, and this is coming in January 2021, so it's very close. YellowDog can help ensure that the bank always has access to the computing power it needs at any time and in the right way. And as well as helping with things like FRTB, which is just one example, YellowDog, the regulatory environment is getting more complex, which means it's getting more challenging and more expensive. And there's also competition. So YellowDog can not only help banks and financial services institutions stay in touch and meet regulatory requirements today, YellowDog can also help accelerate the journey to the multi-cloud, which helps agility, which then helps improve competitiveness. So the sorts of things we can help with. So TransUnion, one of the big credit bureaus in the world, they run tens of thousands of batch processes for hundreds of millions of consumers every single week. Our forward prediction analytics enables them to understand exactly how long each one of these batch processes is going to take. What that means is we can help them then run more batch processes on exactly the same infrastructure, and because each one of those batch processes carries a revenue amount, it helps them generate more revenue. A tier 1 bank here in Europe, through a combination of reduction of cost in the cloud, improved capital efficiency, and improved risk management. The year one benefit has been calculated at $70 million. And finally, an asset management company here in London. Our multi-cloud capability has enabled them to transform how they do back testing and transform how they do business continuity protection. Over the past 4 years, we've built a world-class team here at YellowDog. Simon, our CTO, has spent 20 years building secure, scalable, and energy-efficient applications that are now in use by millions of people all over the world. He's filed over 30 patents, 9 of which have been granted. James, our Chief Commercial Officer, has built a career over the last 25 years selling advanced technology to the world's leading global businesses. And I love building products that solve real problems. And I've done that in Orange and Experian and in a company called Ariso, which in 2013 I achieved a successful exit. Today, thousands of animation studios all over the world rely on YellowDog to help them deliver world-leading content. And as a business, we're scaling fast. So we've got a couple of thousand clients in over 50 countries. We're seeing triple-digit revenue growth year on year. We've done all this with a relatively modest 5.3 million worth of equity investment. And there's 30 of us here and in Lithuania. We're now working with some of the leaders across insurance, asset management, and banking, as well as global service providers to bring our technology to financial services. So, if you work for a bank, an insurance company, or an asset manager, if you're the CIO, work in their downline, work in risk management, and you think we can help, then come and find us afterwards. We're just out there. Most of our conversations start with a cup of coffee. We believe that coffee might end up helping save you tens of millions of pounds, as well as helping you save the planet. Thank you.